Yes, Footy Scoops, it's Mahit here. Listen, first and foremost, big salute, congratulations goes out to Coach David Higgins. Listen, taking on your new role as the head coach of Scarborough National Malvern Soccer Club. Higgs, job number one is change the soccer club to football club. Then we're talking some bits. But listen, in all seriousness, mate, an absolute massive step for you. As you mentioned, it's full circle. This is a club you played for as a youth and now coming in here to be the head coach of this club. And this club has a storied history, celebrating their 45th year this year, 45th year anniversary. And they've had some great internationals and national players that have come through the Malvern Football Club. So listen, Higgins, I know you're going to carry this club up to the next level. So if you're watching this, please make sure you check out all of their socials. So SN Malvern SC. Check them out on YouTube. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, all the rest of it. Follow them. He wants to most definitely build up the community. And look out this year. As the club is celebrating their 45th year anniversary, there will be a lot of things and showcases and a lot of community events that they'll be involved in. So please make sure you get out there, give them their support. Higgins, congrats again on your new role, brother. All the best. You know us here at Footy Scoops. Anytime you need us, bruv, we'll be there. All right? Stay blessed. Football time! What's going on, football folks? Listen, what a weekend of football. It was amazing. It was amazing. I know. I was told to calm down. I can't calm down. We're sitting top of the table. We got another win. It was good times. It was good times. But let me not start there. Let's kick off with the very first game of the weekend. Brighton taking on Everton. Brighton losing this one after winning so well last week against Man United. Taking on Everton. The weirdest penalty you're probably gonna see, you know what I mean? But Everton winning out 1-0 winners. Now, I've long been saying that Everton should have just taken a drop a couple seasons back, reconfigured themselves, because there's so much mess going around their club in regards to the ownership, who was buying, who's not buying. Everton actually walking a little bit of the tightrope again under the profit and sustainability rules, so they can't even buy any players right now. They have to sell in order to buy. It's a mess. But they brought back David Moyes. He's brought back a feel-good factor. He most definitely knows how to avoid relegation. So they squeak out a 1-0 win over Brighton. But it gets worse. Let's take a look at this. Because they got some injuries, obviously, to the midfielders and obviously Calvert-Lewin as well. Now, on top of the injuries, you're thinking, okay, well, Beto can just slide in there. Beto said, hey, listen, I want out. You know what I mean? I want out. So it's like another week of this transfer window, a week and a little bit of this transfer window. He's saying he wants out. There's clubs from over in Italy looking at him, but they've not quite met the valuations yet. But if a player's saying he does not want to play, what are you going to do? You're gonna still try and play him? Especially when you want to depend on him for goals and all the rest of it? It's a sticky situation. So right now, David Moyes, not in a great position, but again, he knows how to avoid relegation. So if anybody's in there, probably the best bet, but let's see what happens with Everton. But they are most definitely in a relegation battle. They're just outside the zone right now, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Then the next matchup, Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1. Obviously, I was flipping on top of the moon. I was on cloud 9 with this one. But Ipswich as well, in this relegation battle, quite upset that Liverpool couldn't keep a clean sheet, selfishly. However, Ipswich, being in a relegation battle, are not laying down at all. They're not accepting defeat, and they got themselves a very good late goal. Consolation goal, of course, but absolutely they worked in from a set piece, but at the same time showing their fighting desire. So let's see if that will carry them through to make sure they maintain their Premier League status. Going to the next match, Southampton, Newcastle. Now, listen, Najjah's not here, so I'm going to say it. Isak. You know he goes on about Isak because he loves a bit of Isak, you know what I mean? But listen, the man has ice in his veins. He's a clinical striker. He gets a couple this weekend, but listen, that's potentially a problem for Newcastle. Because if Newcastle don't get themselves sorted out, get themselves into looking well in Europe, potentially looking at Champions League, Isak might say, listen, I'm done with Europa. I want to go up to the next level. I want to go up to Champions League. So for Newcastle now, they may have to look at selling their one of their prized players. And if Isak's going to go, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. But if Isak's saying, hey, I want to leave and go play Champions League, then Gamiris cannot be far behind. I'm just saying. Don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Because again, these are very, very quality players. So they want to be playing at that very top levels. So again, Newcastle, they're going to need to sort it out. We talked about this last week in regards to the ownership, and they haven't really splashed the cash. And is Eddie Howe the person to kind of take them to the next level? And again, because they've not really splashed the cash at all, it's the thought process. Do you trust Eddie Howe with a ton of money to bring in marquee players? Let's see what happens. This could be a very, very interesting summer for Newcastle. Moving on to Wolves and Arsenal. Now, obviously, we know Arsenal are missing Saka himself, and Havertz and Martinelli not really doing the rounds. So they'll take goals from wherever they can. They won out 1-0 winners over Wolves. But before we even talk too much about that, the red card you lot got. Listen, I always talk the truth. Not a red card at all, mate. I'm Lewis Skelly there last week. He probably played out of his skin, played the pass of the weekend last week to turn around and get this red card. Listen, it wasn't studs up. He wasn't off his feet. To me, I can't see it's being reckless or endangering an opponent. Yes, he caught the guy in the leg with his instep there. Was it potentially they were about to start breaking? Yes, at the same time, but that's a yellow at best. Do you know what I mean? To get a red for that, if I'm Arsenal, I'm disputing that. Let's see what happens with what they plan on doing. But again, Arsenal winning out 1-0 winners and keeping himself in the title race. Now, Bournemouth taking on Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth 5-0 winners. Now, listen. Last week, we talked about Hat-Trick Cliver and what he was doing because, listen, he was up in St. James's Park having an absolute ball. But you know what? Dango Otari said, you know what? I like that. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do even better. I'm going to be the first Burkina Faso player to score a hat-trick in the Premier League. So, mate, salute to you. Dango Otara, the very first Burkina Faso player to score a hat-trick in the Premier League. Congratulations to you. Bournemouth running out 5-0 winners over Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, mate, I don't know what happens you lot. You've been flipping, tussling with the big boys and showing your gumption, but Bournemouth travelled over to Bournemouth and they kind of set you lot down. 5-0 winners, you know what I mean? Sometimes right now, you got to take your lumps. Now, moving into the last game of Saturday, Man City versus Chelsea. Mate, an absolute baptism of fire for Kusanov. He's coming to Man City as their defender. Kyle Walker ships himself out to Italy. And, mate, he makes the error of errors. You mean pretty much gifting Chelsea their first goal in the first few minutes. There's nowhere to hide. This is the Premier League. You make a mistake, everybody's going to see it, everybody's going to talk about it. But at the same time, for his credit, obviously Man City walked off this match with 3 points as they walked up 3-1 winners. Now, I just want to talk about the Haaland goal for a moment because the match is poised, 1-1. Ball comes over the top. Sanchez is playing almost like as a deep sweeper. Ball comes over the top. He says, I'm going to go for it. No, I'm not going to go for it. And he gets caught out. Then Haaland is able to lob the ball over him. As a keeper, we see it so many times. Listen, if you're going to commit to it, if you're going to commit to going for that ball, then you commit 100% to going for that ball. If not, don't commit at all. Retreat back to your line and get ready for the shot. Sanchez doesn't do this. He gets caught, in two minds, mate. And he gifts. As much as City gifted Chelsea the first goal, Sanchez gifted Man City that second goal. And if you've seen some of these reactions from Chelsea supporters online, it's quite hilarious. But to be honest, it's warranted because I can't see what he's thinking either. Sanchez, you blew that one up for him. Moving into Sunday, we talked about the Battle of the Managers last week. Battle of the Managers again. Tottenham versus Leicester. Listen, walking into this match, Leicester had lost 7 matches on the trot. Van Nistelrooy was under heavy pressure. Do you know what I mean? And Postecoglou was also under pressure as well. Now, Tottenham go up 1-0 in the first half. Going into half-time, it's looking like Van Nistelrooy is about to take his team into 8 losses straight. Do you know what I mean? Whatever he said in the half-time, though, made a difference because they came out of that half-time immediately. Vardy scores straight after half-time. Then Leicester walk out 2-1 winners with this one. Now, Postecoglou has Daniel Levy sitting in the stands. So I'm thinking, you're going in 1-0, you end up losing 2-1 to Leicester at home. He should be in trouble. He should be in a lot of trouble. If we look back in January, I won't even go for all the fixtures because I know, looking back in January, Tottenham had 2 wins. One in the League Cup against Liverpool, League Cup semi-finals, 1-0 winners, and then one against Hoffenheim. Yeah? Other than that, in the league, in your bread and butter, 0 wins in January. Do you know what I mean? As a club looking to do something, looking to progress yourself, looking to either chase spots in Europe or obviously chase any sort of silverware itself, languishing in 15th place right now, and you've not told this manager goodbye. Mate, it doesn't make sense. Everybody's talked about Ange Ball and what he wants to do, all the rest of it, and how he wants to play and not changing the way he plays. You had Eric Dyer come out the other day and talk about the manager doesn't really talk about tactics. Geez, I've said it already. I kind of feel like he's out of his depth. But the problem is you have a management who doesn't seem to be overly concerned by this. Tottenham is a large enough club where they should be challenging for honours. Antonio Conte spoke about this a few years ago. I don't remember if you remember that press conference where Antonio Conte just went absolutely livid talking about the state of affairs at Tottenham, and in all his career he's never seen anything like this. And we're kind of seeing it play out right now. Because after that result, and it's not a matter of calling for someone to lose their job. After that result, there's 0 reason why he should still be in the job. Zero. But he's still there, right? So let's see how this plays out for Tottenham. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 2. Now listen, this situation right here with Brentford with the penalty retake. So what's happened is Bremo's hit the post, has come back out, and I believe it is Gahey has made it in to knock out the rebound, to knock it out for a corner. They've deemed that he's entered into the pause at the top of the box there. So they've had him retake the penalty. Now, penalties we know obviously are geared towards the attacking side. However, from all the angles that they were showing on the VAR, I couldn't see how he was entering into the penalty area. But they deemed that he did. So, because they're thinking, how did he get back to block out the rebound so quickly? I kind of feel like Palace got robbed in that one. But anyway, Brentford 2-1 winners over Palace. Then we have Aston Villa and West Ham. Now again, Aston Villa are another club who they've jumped themselves into the Champions League, and you want to maintain your Champions League spot, right? So for you to be drawing 1-1 versus West Ham when West Ham's coming up to your home, listen, these are the matches you have to be getting points on. So as much as I rate Unai Emery, you got to make sure that when the table's set for you to pick up these points, you're grabbing these points. Because again, Villa versus West Ham, obviously I'm not going to say it's a dead certain that Villa should be walking out of 3 points. However, Aston Villa have enough quality on the pitch to make sure they can handle West Ham for sure. And then Fulham hosting Man United. Bloody hell. Deflection City, like what's going on? You know what I mean? Honestly, Man United 1-0 winners over this one. They're the worst bloody deflection goal, you know what I mean? Getting their 3 points. So Najjah will be over the moon at this one, but we're going to leave that one alone. But listen, I mentioned it before. Let's talk about this relegation battle, because we want to look at the teams that are kind of facing a potential drop. We have Ipswich, Wolves, Leicester, and Everton. I'm putting Everton in there because, again, these are the teams, they're the closest to the bottoms. Obviously, Southampton are cut adrift right now. So we're looking at, of these 4 teams, 2 of these teams potentially going down. Ipswich, Wolves, Leicester, and Everton. Now, then February, we're going to look at the February fixtures for these teams. For Ipswich, they have Southampton, Villa, Spurs, and Man United. For Wolves, they have Villa, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Fulham. For Everton, they have Leicester, Liverpool, Palace, Man United, and Brentford. And then for Leicester, they have Everton, Arsenal, Brentford, and West Ham. So February is going to be a serious month for these 4 clubs. Now, February could be a time we kind of get seals in who kind of steps away from the relegation battle and who kind of gets drawn more into it. Right now, Everton are sitting 23 points. Ipswich and Wolves sitting with 16. Leicester sitting with 17. Okay, so 7 points above the relegation zone where Everton is sitting at right now. However, this is a serious month for Everton. With those 5 fixtures right there, you don't pull points out of these ones. Meanwhile, Ipswich and the rest of them do. You're going to get pulled right into that relegation battle. Ipswich, Southampton, obviously, as I said, Southampton's kind of been cut loose already. So Ipswich will most be definitely battling for their 3 points for this one. And obviously for all the remaining matches that they have. However, they could very, very quickly and very easily catch up to where Everton's at. Provided that Everton don't do anything at all. They have the Merseyside battle, and then obviously they have a Crystal Palace and Man United, all kind of like tucked in right beside each other. So it's going to be a serious, serious month for all of them. So come the end of February, we'll see where these are sitting at. But this relegation battle is kind of warming up right now, kind of coming to a boil, you know what I mean? So listen, that has been your Premier League Footy Scoops fix. Higgins, congrats again, bruv. Boom. for it, but again, it's an obscene amount of money,
Yeah,
right?
obscene.
For the next 9.5 years. So kudos for him for getting out of range. But my thing is, again, I've said it already. I feel that Man City had this drop off because they're looking at being relegated, based upon. No, I'm serious. Based upon.
I know, but I got that.
Based upon the charge and stuff like that, I feel like they're looking at being relegated, and that was kind of hanging on the players' them heads, and that's kind of where everything kind of dropped off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you've given Haaland this contract. Everyone's like, okay, well, it's because Man City know that they're innocent and they're looking towards the future, blah blah blah. If you say so. Mm-hmm. My thing is, you're giving this contract, but now also you have issued or you've removed the release clause. His contract before had a release clause. I think it was about 95 million in there for his release clause. So any club could have put up that money. And Real Madrid was sniffing around at a point.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So they could have put up that money and said, okay, boom, we're taking him. He would have said, yep, I'm out of here as well. Right? You've now removed that. So now Man City get to set their price for him. Right? So Man City get relegated. Haaland, will he stick around? You mean? Let's be serious. He may not, depending. If they go down to the Championship, he may say, okay, I'll stay for the 1 year.
Right.
If they go anywhere lower, he's like, nah, I'm out of here.
I mean, they're not going to go anywhere lower. I can't see it going anywhere.
Mate,
I can't see it going anywhere lower if they even go. But it's going to be some serious. I mean, 115 charges, as we know. What he's talking about, the 115 charges, at the end of the day, there's going to be some kind of punishment. I mean, from way lesser, Everton received deductions, and who else received deductions
not
last year?
enforced.
And not enforced, exactly.
But hang on, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Let's say.
Remember, did they sue? They sued the Premier League.
Yeah,
did that go?
No,
that's
not going to.
All right.
But what I was going to say is, let's say they get relegated and they get a point deduction for the Championship, which is like going to be let's say they get a minus 20, minus 30 point deduction. That means it's going to be 2 years in the Championship. Is he going to stick around for 2 years in the Championship? Do you know what I'm saying? No. So potentially you may not be bouncing back. So now it's going to end up being about, let's say, call it 4, potentially 5 years out of Champions League. That's, as a player now, you have to look at it like that.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's true.
So when you're looking like that now, is he going to stick around? No, he's not going to stick around. So then you look at, okay, teams going to want to buy him, right? You can then be looking at, in a situation with Man City, because again, it's a money thing, do they sell him to a friend over in Dubai and stuff like that?
In the meantime.
For big money.
Yeah.
To help balance out the books.
But the only thing is, I can't see him going.
Hear me out. Send him over there, balance out the books.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in the January to somewhere else for reduced amount. But now, as far as Man City goes, they got the money. So as far as they're
just
looking
for January, just for a quick bust.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you just said to January,
mate.
Yeah,
mate,
I mean,
potential's there for all of that, mate.
There's a lot. I can't wait to see what comes of this. I mean, we have to wait and see. At the end of the day, I mean, this is a Chelsea contract. Bigger than Chelsea, because Chelsea was signing people for 7 years. They just, in order to run with the FFP to make sure everything's above board with that. But I'm still surprised that man signed. I mean, it was 500,000, but damn,
9.5 years, bro.
500,000 a week, 9 years is a lot of time.
Yeah, that's essentially the rest of his
prime time. Yeah, it's prime time. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I can't wait. I would love to see these guys just actually get justice. So whatever it is, I hope it's something serious.
Yeah, man. And, man. Let these charges
and the Premier League has the cojones to move forward with it. So. We'll see what's up.
I feel
because it's gonna be a joke thing. If they don't, this is gonna be a joke thing. It's gonna
be like the
everybody's watching this right now.
Yeah, the contract as well is a challenge to the Premier League. They're saying we're giving this guy a 9.5 year deal because we know we're gonna be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Premier League has to be like, no. Catch you later. You mean go hold his seat for a little bit. They have to do that. They have to. So I don't know. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. 9.5 years, bro. 525 grand. And Pep's only signed for 2 years.
Yep, that's right.
And I don't know if that's even gonna last for 2 years. He's already had off the field situations and issues and stuff, right? So he may only have another year left in him because obviously he's gonna want to flip and just take a break for a second and just breathe. So, mate, who knows, man?
We'll see, man.
Who knows?
Winning has a way of
changing that for sure.
Changing everything
for sure,
now.
For sure.
So we'll see.
But on the flip side of it, relegation will have a very negative impact.
Yeah, massive.
Right. So yeah, man. Take the wind out the sails.
115 charges, so I can't wait. Speak up! You know what I'm saying? We'll see what's
Order in the court.
Order in the court, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, man, that's what's up, man. But anyways, this is what it is. Your Footy Scoop Premier League weekend recap.
Fix.
Brah! Boom! Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Six.